things got worse at Gene's work. So we're kind of worried. He had somebody accuse him of being racist for not skipping everybody else in line to get to him. Basically, give me free stuff and prioritize me over everyone else or you're racist. Like, dude, fifth in line is fifth in line, that sort of thing. And if you're helping out a customer already, you're supposed to help them and then help somebody. Like, be like, hey, hold on a sec. But, like, Gene does that, and some people will not be pleased, and it's just getting worse. I mean, he had watch somebody do that and then apologize for it, but, like, more people are using this to be shitty racists, calling it something else. Then there are people who are like, hold on a second, just stop this shit. Maybe it's just the area, which would be horrendously ironic considering that the Walmart that he works at is in a nicer area. He works at a Walmart in an area we could not possibly afford to live in. So that would be horrendously ironic considering the narrative. There are actually other people who work there who live in our area or close to it, but nowhere near that area. And if you do manage to find a place up there, it's gonna be a lot more money for a lot less. I don't even know if we could even afford a studio up there or a 1-bedroom. Even it's a much more expensive area, and the few places that'll advertise for less are not the best places to be. They're slumlords, and you don't want to live like that if you can help it. There are a couple people who live in a studio in the apartments behind that Walmart, but they can't afford to do. If they have more, it's because they have multiple incomes in the house, and even then it's not gonna be near the workplace unless they are paying more for way less. Yep. We don't live in that area. We can't afford to live in that area. Oh god. And I just find it ironic because don't people usually shop around where they live? If they're living in that area, they are fucking able to live in Arcadia and shit. And that is just mind-boggling. These are literally people who are privileged. who are just racist as fuck too, apparently. And there's other people who've had it come at them too. There's even been managers who have been verbally attacked over it. And I'm just sort of scared. I mean, what do we do if it starts escalating to physical attacks? You are literally attacking customer service people who work in retail. And there's so much verbal abuse you get in retail too. Just without this stuff going on. Every entitled Karen within a 50-mile radius, basically. But this is that plus racism, and it's scary. Tonight, there was a bunch of yards that we noticed, their lights are out. The lights in the back are out. And every once in a while, you'll see one that's on, but most of the yards that usually leave their backlights and stuff on are out. I don't know if they booked it somewhere, or if they just turn them out because they don't want anybody to think that they're home. I don't know. All I know is that whenever you're dealing with somebody possibly breaking in, unless somebody's specifically looking for places with people that are home, you usually want to leave all your lights on in the front and the back because it indicates that somebody's home. But it's been roughly like 6 months since I shut the blinds to the back porch. Just because it's less trouble just to leave them open. We usually never have a reason to close them, but I did. Because I'm scared. And I know it doesn't help, but it makes me feel a little bit better. I should probably open it, considering that we have a light on out there, because principally, I can turn this light off, and I will see them before they see me. I learned that whenever I was homeless. Oh, and by the way, I didn't have family that was like, yeah, you can stay with me. There was one person, and I couldn't get up to where she was. And that was Grandma Moore, and she wasn't even related to me. She's related to my little sister, but I couldn't get up there. My grandparents, everybody. First of all, it was specifically because of things that my grandmother had done to begin with. So, yeah. Let's not go into that. 2 times over. Let's see, first, I left their place and got my own because my grandmother kicked me out because I would not record my therapy appointments to prove that I wasn't talking to her about her. Yeah. I wasn't going to do that because I was talking about her. Just in therapy. I mean, at that point, I hadn't dared to say it pretty much anywhere else. Just therapy, and that one time that I asked my great uncle for help. Oh, and one other time that I asked the pastor for help. Literally, I can count on one hand the amount of times that I came out and said that my grandmother was abusing me, and asked for help. It was way more obvious than I thought it was, and my grandmother was telling people that I was talking about it, probably because she was being asked about it. But I wasn't saying anything. It was just way more obvious than either one of us thought. I didn't even know why she was freaking out on me. I hadn't said anything. I'd kept her secrets. I even staged falls at school to explain away some of the bruises. So, in case somebody saw it. And there were often times nobody saw it, but I was so paranoid that they would, that, my shirt would slip or something, because my clothes, of course, didn't fit right either. Because I didn't have clothes that fit right. I had more clothes that didn't fit right, and then I didn't really have clothes that fit right. And then the things that, oh goodness. Every once in a while I'd get something that did, but you can't wear the same things to school every day. So I would end up, at least with the other clothes, assumed that I did that on purpose. But no, part of the reason why I like clothes that are looser now is because back then a lot of the clothes were too tight. They fit, as far as I could move and stuff, but they hugged way too close. And it just made me more self-conscious. And you know what? Yep, that was because I got them from thrift stores and wasn't able to, you can't just search for the clothes that fit you right in a thrift store. Those are your options. And oftentimes that was my option. Anyway, I'm not fucking privileged. These people are insane. But you know what? It's not just them. Most of the people decrying this shit are pale-skinned. And that's the irony, isn't it? I guess some of the YouTubers, I think there's this cop, or this guy that used to be a cop. And he's not pale skinned. That's as far as I'm going to say it, because I don't like using the words. Because it just makes it sound like I'm talking about anything but people. Whenever you start with white, black, yellow, red, are we talking about crayons or people? I would rather be talking about crayons right now. But whenever we're talking about people, I don't want to talk about them like they're colors in a crayon box. Like, we all bleed red, and we're literally all the same kind of crayon with different wrapping. It's not the same thing. When our skin is peeled away, we don't look any different under it. And I'm saying this quite literally. Like, our muscles are there. The tissue under our skin is still the tissue under our skin. We bleed red. There's nothing fundamentally different. God. As far as, like, anything like that. So I'm just like, this is insane. And I grew up calling a man named Miles. He was a family friend, and I used to fantasize that he and my mom would get together and all this. And I thought of him a lot like you would a father figure. He didn't replace my dad or anything, and he didn't try to. But I haven't talked to him since I was 19 years old. He had this habit of just taking off, and then eventually you'd hear from him again. I wonder what side of this he's on. I genuinely wonder. And it hurts to think about. Because I don't know what hurts worse. That he might be being called an Uncle Tom right now. And might be hurt by that. Or that he might be on the other side, yelling and screaming that anybody with pale skin is automatically racist because they got pale skin. If your argument is that you deserve special treatment, or somebody else deserves to be put in the ground or anything, or made to suffer, or have anything taken from, or anything, just because of the color of their skin or yours, you are racist. I don't understand why this escapes so many people. Maybe it's because this idea that it's reverse racism. It's not reverse racism. There's literally no such thing. It is literally rebranded racism. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. We're gonna go get a bunch of groceries tomorrow. And Chris and I, we're gonna lay low. Because there's literally nothing else we can do. And there is nothing like blonde hair to bring out the worst in people. Chris's blonde hair. His eyes aren't blue. That won't matter. Some people project that image on you. He doesn't have blue eyes, but they'll see it. Because that's what they'll project, and that's the way that some people are. My grandpa was too. He used to tell me that my eyes were blue. So that's what I would tell people. My eyes aren't blue, and neither were my mom's. We both got hazel eyes, or my mom did. Although mine have stopped changing as much since they took out the stuff in my body that produces estrogen. So, oh, and I can't have estrogen, so that's a bundle of laughs right there. Anyway, we're gonna lay low. We're not leaving this house unless we're taking care of something medical. Or it's a neighbor friend that Chris is playing with. Maybe we'll leave if we have a homeschool thing, but I don't see that opening up right now. Most of that stuff is it's over the computer. It's not what the kids need though. Like they need more. But like, what else can we do right now? Forget freaking COVID. I mean, that's there too. But then there's the very real threat of violence. Because you have to understand, I'm very good at reading people patterns. I knew we were coming to something like this to begin with. That's why I've been working up and like trying to build up the pantry so that like we could. And that's also why okay, he should be asleep right now, so that's also why we got an airsoft. That's why we got that months ago. Because the moment that we saw that some of the liberals were the same people who, because you gotta understand, I got both of my friends list, mostly because my relatives are mostly liberals. So my news feed is full of mostly liberals as far as Facebook and all that go, and I mostly avoid it, but whenever I'm there were people who normally rag against weapons and certain types, and these same people were talking about getting certain weapons to go, and this is the closest thing that I can deal with. It's not the same thing as somebody who's been to war and freaks out. It's more like I avoid cold hard metal in my hands of that particular variety. And this is actually not considered that sort of thing. It's basically something where the age on it is 16 and up. It is considered something like a BB gun. Something some people hand 12-year-olds. We're treating it like it's a real one. So it's not where Chris could get it. It's locked up and all that. But tensions were already being stoked. And you would, as socially oblivious as I can be about some things, this is not one of them. If I'm watching the people patterns, I will see it. If it is a personal interaction with me, however, I'm likely to miss something. But if, as far as just looking overall at where society is going and what people are doing, I can usually see where that's going. I told my brother to wait 6 months during the Iraqi war. He wanted to join. He thought that it would be exciting. But then he saw that I was right after the 6 months, and then he waited and joined the army later. But, like, I lost friends who joined right out of high school. People who just never came back. A lot of people never came back. Except in body bags. And there are people wanting to turn American soil into a war zone. And I'm scared. I'm scared for my family, for the family I have left. I'm scared that my boys are out there somewhere. I'm scared for Chris. I'm scared for Jean. I'm scared. I'm just overall scared. Because these people don't know what they're asking for. They really don't. But if they keep on asking for it, they're gonna find out, and so is everybody else caught in the crossfire. The only thing people like us can do is make sure that we can defend ourselves, or at least try to hold up and hope not to be caught in the middle of it, and just stay out of the way. Are you fucking kidding me? I have a fractured hip. The only thing I can do is put Chris behind me and hope that that helps. We have a plan in case something happens. There's a specific we basically have a plan in case somebody breaks in and stuff. Chris has a route he's supposed to take to get to the safest hiding place, the one that we can put the most doors between him and whatever's happening. Like, we have an actual plan in case, like, something like that happens. That is how scared we are. But we also had this over a month ago. The world's gone crazy. Rowan and Rohan are out there somewhere. And there are areas in this country just erupting. All the tensions. Every bit of stuff that everybody was too busy to erupt over. It's all coming to a head. And there are other groups joining in for different things. It's madness. But I also can see why it's happening. I don't disagree with the peaceful protests. There's a lot wrong in this country. People are right to be mad. Not necessarily about everything that they're being told to be mad about, but there's plenty to be mad about. Pot looting, being abusive to other people, just for the color of their skin, or because you feel more entitled because you hold yours in higher regard. This isn't fixing anything. And all that's gonna do is cause more problems. I can't say this though, nobody's getting to Chris. Unless it's over my dead body. Hopefully it won't come to that. But whenever things started escalating, or we could see that it was going to, that was the first thing that we figured out.